gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Now tuned into the greatest. Turn the music up in the headphones. Tim, you can go and brush your shoulders off, and I got you. Yeah, if you feeling like a pimp, nigga, go and brush your shoulders off. Ladies is pimps too, go and brush your shoulders off. Niggas is crazy, baby, don't forget that boy told you, kid. Yeah, turn up your shoulders. I probably owe it to y'all, probably be locked by the force. Trying to hustle some things that go with the push. Feeling no remorse, feeling like my hand was forced. Middle finger to the Lord, nigga, gripping my balls. Said the ladies, they love me. From the bleachers, they screaming. All the ballers is bouncing, they like the way I be leaning. All the rappers be hating off the track that I'm making. But all the hustlers, they love it just to see one of us making. Came from the bottom of the bottom.
Welcome in. Happy Halloween. Welcome to RSVP with Jill Munroe. Actually, welcome to RSVP with Cruella DeVille. Because it's Halloween. Listen, this is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. As I said, I'm your host, Jill Munroe, Cruella. For the evening, I have to work on my British accent. I was like practicing it earlier so I could do a proper introduction, but I don't got it. But we'll work on that. I hope that you are enjoying your Halloween if you're listening to this show on your way out to celebrate, or you're just coming in from maybe taking the little ones trick-or-treating. I don't know. Do they really still trick-or-treat? I saw a couple of people as I was leaving my neighborhood, but I think, Halloween is a party thing now. I don't think everybody's going door to door for candy anymore. I don't know how that works out, especially not the way things go down in 2023. Listen, we have got a great show for you tonight. So many things. If you aren't already, make sure you're following us on social media, KBLA 1580. Follow me at Stiletto Jill. I will post some photo somewhere of this Halloween costume. I promise. And, of course, download the app so that, as you're walking into the party, you still want to tap in and listen. Hit that up. And, of course, if you have YouTube, join the YouTube chat. It's always bustling in there. Hit us up on YouTube to add the visual to this audio experience. Now, let me give you a rundown of everything that we are going to be discussing on this show tonight. Unfortunately, I have to get rid of one of my gloves because it doesn't quite work with the mouse. So tonight, we're going to talk about Jay-Z. So Jay-Z mentioned during his interview with Gayle King that he's ready to cut his hair, but Blue Ivy and Rumi aren't with it. He also discussed how proud he was of Blue Ivy, and listen, he let it be known he heard y'all talking about her hair and her looks. But I kind of want to know, I think it's interesting that Blue and Rumi are so adamant about their dad not cutting his hair. And I wonder if it has anything to do with some of the commentary that was online about Blue when she's a baby. She's of age now. Maybe she surfed the internet. Maybe she feels empowered. Her mom made a song for her. I just wonder. So we're going to get into that and hear his comments about how he sees Blue touring with Beyonce and all of that. We have more about Miss Beyonce, of course. We're going to talk about Magic Johnson. Magic is the fourth millionaire to reach billionaire status. Fourth athlete. Fourth athlete to reach billionaire status. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about some of the comments that I've been seeing online about us celebrating these entertainers and celebrities reaching the billionaire mark. They wanted to know why we do it. What does it mean for us? And why do we rally around that topic so heavily? We're also going to get into, in the third hour, Kodak Black is a rapper. He's out of Florida, a Haitian rapper. He recently appeared on Drink Champs, and there was a little bit of controversy around his appearance, not necessarily because of what he said, although there was some of that, if you could decipher it. But it looked apparent that there were some other things going on with him, and Ray J spoke out about it, as well as some fans. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about Rich Paul says he's the one that convinced LeBron James to return to the Cavs after Dan Gilbert's letter. We're going to get into the why. There is also an NBA dad that has remarried. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about some DoorDash news. You might be getting your DoorDash food a lot slower if you don't do this. So I'm going to give you the scoop on that. Will Smith and Peppa from back in the day, we're going to get into that. SZA and a whole lot more. But of course, before we get into all the stories, we're going to get into a couple of conversation starters. These are topics that, we don't have a lot of time to get into, but we need you to be aware. So first up, as I mentioned, it is Halloween. And I don't know if you remember, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, Diddy dressed up as the Joker and totally took over Hollywood. I mean, it was very realistic. The costume, makeup, how he was acting. He ran into Tyler, the Creator, on the street and some other people, and he did not break character. So for all of you who think that Diddy can't act, maybe he can. At any rate, Diddy revealed today that he received a letter from Warner Brothers banning him from ever dressing up as the Joker on Halloween. Ever. He said it was 6 pages long, full of a lot of legalese. And I don't understand. It's Halloween. I thought that is the point. Was his portrayal too realistic? Did they feel like him taking it to the streets and setting it up was not the proper presentation of a homicidal maniac in a film? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that the legal department went after him for that. There's got to be something deeper to that story because, it's Halloween. Everybody's dressing up. Speaking of, so I'm going to give you a little rundown of some of the celebs that I saw across social media so that you are informed about some of their costumes. A lot of times I feel like for celebrities, Halloween has turned into a photo shoot because all you guys are dressing up, some of them in multiple costumes, and it's Hollywood. There's a lot of parties, Atlanta, wherever you might be, but where y'all really going? And why you got all these photo shoots scheduled? The first one I want to mention, your guy Drake. Drake dressed up as Ice Spice. Red curly wig. He didn't have on a dress or anything. He had on a pink velour sweatsuit. He was shaking those little curls. And it was funny. You need to hunt that down on social media because Drake is a freaking troll. He is. Kerry Washington, she debuted on Andy is disgusted. He just took a look at it. He's like, what is Drake doing? Kerry Washington, she dressed up as Sha'Carri Richardson. It was cute. I'll give you the rest of the list on the other side. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
At City National, we listen to you.
I want to expand my business and my legacy.
I want to set up the next generation for success.
I want to see my vision come to life.
I want to feel right at home.
Your goals, passions, vision, future. We want to hear it and work alongside you to achieve it. Visit cmb.com to learn more. City National Bank. Here for our clients and communities.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer, Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked in to RSVP with Cruella DeVille on KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome in. So, really quick, I want to ask, do you feel as an adult Halloween is overrated? Are you into it? Do you dress up? Do you participate? Is it just for the kids? Like, do you do movie nights? What do you do to celebrate? Or is it just like another day and not for you? Andy?
Well, considering I'm here right now, it's just another day. But even if I wasn't here, it would be just another day. I think my mom just kind of, she bombarded me with the whole, Halloween is of the devil, this, that, and the third. But, even though she said all that type of stuff, as a kid, I wish I did dress up. Because, in elementary school, they made a big deal of it, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it just kind of carried all the way into adulthood. I didn't really care too much about dressing up. But if there was a party, I'm there.
You're there?
Yes.
You would be there in your regular clothes, right?
And, at the most, I probably would have like a mask. You know what I'm saying? One time, I put my shirt over my head and pretended I was a ghost. But I've never went out of the way, kind of like how you have the whole shebang. I've never went that far.
Okay. I mean, I can see how some people can grow out of it. I'm festive. I like holidays. I like to participate. What I don't do anymore, though, is I definitely do not really watch scary movies anymore. Very rarely. Just, I think I traumatized myself as a child. But what has helped is going back and looking at some of the movies that scared me as a child, as an adult, because, special effects have advanced so far that none of that junk looks scary anymore. I remember I used to be quaking in my boots at some of that stuff, like scared of the dark, all of that, night light on, closet door closed, no closet light on, hello poltergeist, and we were rolling from there. But I'm an adult now, so now we just use regular night lights that come on as it gets darker. So listen, let me give you a couple of more of these Halloween costumes because some of them I fear will be used later for memes and jokes. Your guy Paul George of the Clippers, he was dressed up as Where's Waldo. And I just feel like he's got to be trolling. Like, he's got to know that come April, should anything go down, we are going to definitely see those memes with Paul George. Like, yeah, where is he? What's going on? You get it now. Where's Waldo? You find him in the thing, the great disappearing, vanishing. Okay. DeAndre Jordan, he dressed as Taylor Swift at a Kansas City Chiefs game, blonde, wig, and all. Yes, hit social media and check out some of this stuff. Your guy Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama. Oh my God. Big Vic. Yama. Okay, Wembanyama. Yeah. Some days it's easy. He, with his very long flame, dressed as Slender Man. Slender Man. I'm scared. I don't like that movie. He looked a little too realistic for me. And then he was scaring people on the court. But that's how it goes. Also, Fat Joe. Now, this is funny. And I wonder, is Fat Joe, once again, are you trolling? Are you sending a message? Fat Joe, why can't I talk tonight? Fat Joe dressed as Ozempic. He dressed as a tube of Ozempic. So, yeah, are you saying something, Joe? Thought that was cute. Kim and North, they dressed as Sharon Dion from Clueless. Was really, really cute. And then Kim joined her sisters, and they dressed as Bratz dolls. I think it was Sisters and Friends. Not sure. It was with Chloe. And people were shading Chloe because they felt like, she was a little tan, appropriation. They assumed maybe she was being Sasha. I don't know. But go check that out. Real Housewives of Potomac, Wendy Osefo, she dressed as basketball star Angel Reese, paid homage. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz, their family dressed up as Mortal Kombat characters. I like the family thing. It was cute. LeBron James and Savannah, they dressed up as Beetlejuice. And Miss Akron, 2003. I think in the film it was like Miss Ecuador, Miss Colombia. I can't remember. She was in the office when, I can't remember the lead characters' names, but when they came and they were checking in because they were dead, they had to wait. So they're cute too. Erica Mena and Young Miami both dressed as Morticia Adams with their children as Wednesday and Pugsley. Odell Beckham Jr. and his son dressed up as Sonny and Julian for Big Daddy. And Donald Faison, he was originally in Clueless. He and his daughter reenacted Dion and Murray. That was super cute as well. So, there's still a couple of Halloween costumes rolling in. Tiana Taylor dressed as Loke Dog from Don't Be a Menace to Society. She killed it. Mariah Carey hit her Jessica Rabbit. Jennifer Hudson opened up her show as Missy Elliott and did I Can't Stand the Rain. That was fly. Sherry Shepherd, baby. Sherry put some money into this. She did the whole Renaissance tour performances. She had a fake Blue Ivy come out and everything. The horse, fabulous. I saw a lot of Coach Prime costumes as well. A lot of people dressing up as Coach Prime. Andy?
Lonzo Ball and LiAngelo.
I saw that they were Craig and
Smokey.
Smokey. Here's the thing, though. You know what they needed to set it off, right? LeVar Ball is Debo. That's what we needed.
They were saying all of that in the comments. So
I'm sure they were, because that's what you needed to see. That would have been hilarious. So I really like Halloween. I'm sure we're going to, get a bunch of costume updates on Wednesday, November 1st. I cannot believe it is November 1st. And also, I saw some social media beef. I guess Velma was a popular costume again this year. And people were like, why is everybody Velma? I don't know. Velma suddenly became sexy, in the cartoon. She had a different image. She's taken off as a character. People want to switch it up, Can't be Scooby and Daffy forever. At any rate, listen, there is a lot happening, and there is an update to a story we discussed last night as far as Keith Lee is concerned. So we know that he caused havoc all over Atlanta. Some of it not so positive, not on his part. Others, very, very positive. He spread joy. He did a great thing for some of those businesses. Well, the Real Milk and Honey, the original business that, they were very nasty to them. One of the waitresses made a video or a tweet. I'm not sure which it was, but she called him. She said, "Why are we listening to an autistic reviewer?" Which is like, come on, unnecessary. Right? If he would have been singing glowing praises, none of that would have been relevant. So don't do that. We're too old for that. Well, the owner has come out and apologized for discrediting his review and says that the house rules were outdated and will be revised. This is what he said in full. Today, we extend our apologies to all as we address a recent incident that highlighted a review from a high profile food blogger. In no way were we trying to discredit anyone. If the comments came across as such, kindly accept our apologies. It's crucial to always take feedback and make improvements for the success of our business and community. We've taken time to reflect on the incident and have started internal corrective actions with our team regarding communication styles. The house rules that are circulating are outdated and a current one is to be published soon on our social platforms so everyone can see it's a vibe, not rules. What? Last not least, in no way, shape, or form is the woman circling on social media with comments on autism a manager associated with our business. Now they're saying she's never worked for them. Let's fact check before we lash out with false comments. Thank you to our loyal customer base, our new followers, and future clients. We are ready to learn and grow from this incident. We are here to provide fantastic customer service and delicious meals. Let's all remain socially responsible. That's cute, but you guys put out a video first. I know you were supposed to be unbothered, but again, the shade. Also, he did an interview on the news where he said that it's about food, not customer service. Bruh, you're in a customer service business. So the food is a component of the customer service. You need both. So that's the resolution to that saga. We'll see if anything else develops from there. But, I think we all learned a very valuable lesson. So listen. Jay-Z, right? We all love Jigga. Well, a lot of us do. Some of you are mean. But Jay-Z was recently on Gayle King, and I thought, in addition to the conversation just being interesting and the fact that he's mentioning he's about to cut his hair, maybe he's going to put out music again. Maybe. I know he said he only wants to put music out when he has something to say and it's meaningful, and I can certainly understand that. You're 50 plus and allegedly a billionaire. You don't just want to be talking about circling the block or whatever. You want to elevate, and it may take a little more time because there's also the issue of some of your fans feeling as though Jay-Z only comes out when he wants to stunt on people and tell you how you'll never reach his level. We're going to get into that a little bit next hour on this aspirational thing. Is it really helpful? But in the interview, he spoke about Blue Ivy and Rumi. And Jay says that he's ready to cut his hair. He thinks the Caesar is the ultimate New York haircut, and he's ready to get back into that. And he says that Blue and Rumi are deathly against it. So I think this is cute little family moment aside of Jay that we don't get to see too often. We know he rarely does interviews, so let's check out what he had to say.
Caesar is the New York City money cut.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
But this is your family's favorite look? When you say the kids and the and Beyonce?
Rumi was the last one to sell me out because she was with me. And I'm like, I'm cutting my hair, guys. I'm preparing them for it. And they Blue's just going crazy. No, Dad, you can't cut your hair. It's part of who you are. And blah, blah, blah. And so they're fighting over this. I'm working through whether to cut it or not. I'm just letting the world know.
So I thought it was interesting that his kids are so adamant about it. They probably don't remember or know, Caesar J. They might have seen videos, but they only know Dad in this form with his, I guess, their locks. Here, some people, y'all are mean. People call him wig and say that it's a wig and that he's going to take his wig off. I don't think that it's a wig, but I do think it's interesting that they are very locked into him with this. And I honestly think, in addition to them not having seen their father in another format or that they remember, I also think that it might have something to do with some of the backlash that Blue received as a baby. As I mentioned earlier, she's old enough where she can search that stuff out tap in. And though parents try to shield their children, keep them from things, we all know kids learn how to use an iPad when they're 2. You know, a lot of times it's to keep them occupied, whatever the case may be, but they're more savvy than their parents and a lot of people. So even if you put up blocks and things of that nature, not saying you shouldn't put those things up, but they might find a way around them. They have friends. I mean, it's just harder to shield children from things you may not want to expose them to in 2023, especially with social media, even with billionaire parents. So he was discussing how proud he was of Blue Ivy on this tour, and that really she was only supposed to come out for one show, but her confidence built. And he also makes mention of all of the flack that she took online, letting y'all know, hey, Jay is still tapped in, and he has a long memory. He didn't forget y'all talked about his baby. So let's hear what he had to say about that.
This year, Jay-Z opted for a role offstage, joining wife Beyonce on her Renaissance World Tour.
Welcome to the Renaissance.
Listen, I felt so proud.
Yeah.
I want to know what it felt like for you, watching her, your wife, and your daughter on stage, what that meant to you, and what that felt like.
Thank you for that question, by the way. First part, my wife, just, you know, I know how hard she works.
Yes.
For me, it's her best tour.
That's her best tour?
And it's hard to,
I think so too.
And it's hard to, like, really, like, compare them because they all have their different things of, like, genius. But this one, to me, felt like the most complete. And on top of it, how inclusive it was, and the story of her Uncle Johnny, yes, and, like,
Johnny
just
Make
how,
My Dress,
and
yes,
how everything just came about, and which goes to, from Johnny, the ancestors, to Blue. Mm-hmm. And Blue, what makes me super, like, proud, and, like, you know, I still get goosebumps seeing her walk on stage, is because Blue's been born into this world that she didn't act. She's been born into a life she didn't act. So since she was born, she's been in, like, scrutiny and public eye, and everyone having an opinion of, you know, even a little girl, how she keeps her hair. Mm-hmm. So for her to be on that stage and reclaim her power, and the song is called My Power, and, like, it just, you can't write a better script.
So I think that sometimes we automatically assume that people of that stature aren't still tapping in. They clearly are. Or that, you know, everyone, of course, said it was cruel. And that was a very long time ago. You know, Karuchi has moved on. People, 106 and Park have moved on. Santana has moved on. But I think in some way it did impact them. And I think that it is nice to see, you know, superstars like Jay-Z and Beyonce embrace the natural hair movement and talk about, you know, their children's different journey with fame and things of that nature, because y'all are mean. People are mean, they're cruel, but I want to know, do you think we'll see new music from Jay? We'll talk about that, and some tea that Mama Tina Knowles dropped on the other side. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
In case 52 bras come out, now you chillin' with a boss, spit cards FC on the sleeve. At the 40-40 club, ESPN on the screen. I play the grip for the jeans, plus the slippers is clean. No chrome on the wheels, I'm a grown-up for real. G, feeling like a pimp, nigga. Gone, brush your shoulders off. Ladies is pimps too, gone, brush your shoulders off.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says in all his years as a New Yorker, he's never seen the level of outward hate displayed in the city since war broke out between Israel and Hamas. It comes as the NYPD sees an uptick in anti-Semitic crimes, with at least 33 reported in the first 3 weeks of October. Adams, who is black, says New Yorkers have an awesome responsibility to lift up the city during this extremely challenging time. An Alabama man is facing charges for allegedly threatening Fulton County's district attorney and sheriff. Investigators say the suspect left expletive-filled threats on the county's customer service line directed toward Sheriff Pat Labatt and Black DA Fonnie Willis just before former President Donald Trump was indicted in Fulton County. Trump and a handful of others are accused of meddling in Georgia's 2020 election. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
At Southern California Edison, they're installing insulated power lines and using the latest technology to help keep our communities safe from wildfire. Learn more at sce.com/mitigation.
We boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Leimert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K-Line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose America.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
This is KBLA Radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Promises you made me, all the things you told me. You said you'd never leave me. We'll be together for eternity. Now it's all in the past. Now I know our love will last. Lady, I would do all I can. Lady, I would be all I am. I'll give you all you've had before. So come on in and close the door. Let me show you what all could be. Could you just please tell me? And the promise that it gives. I wanna love you for life. Yes, I will. 'Cause your love is mine.
Andy better come through with that good Jodeci and with a history fact. Today, in 1995, this single was released. I don't know if you remember the video. Dalvin and T-Boz were getting married in the video. They were a couple at that time. T-Boz fell out. Andy?
I'm glad you brought that up. I was so jealous of Mr. Dalvin.
Were you really?
T-Boz was my first ever celebrity crush.
Listen, T-Boz is a bad girl. She's a Taurus, too. I have a T-Boz story. Let me tell you why T-Boz will always have my ultimate respect. And she epitomized, crazy, sexy, cool. They really did epitomize each point that they, with those adjectives. So this is why I think T-Boz is one of the coolest chicks on the planet, right? So I have a friend back in the day that used to date Dalvin, Mr. Dalvin. So Jodeci was doing a show at the Universal Amphitheater, which is no longer there. It is now Harry Potter World. Shout out to the Universal Amphitheater. I have some very, very warm memories from going to concerts there over the years. So
You mean at Universal Studios, right?
But no, Universal Amphitheater is
Yes.
the theater
Right.
that is next to Universal Studios. They
Got
owned it, but they had a concert venue. I think it might have held like about 10,000, maybe less.
Okay.
And so at the time, Universal was also co-owned by the label MCA, which was Jodeci's label. So Mary J. Blige would do concerts there, Jodeci, New Edition, just all types of acts. It was a popular venue before they tore it down.
Wasn't there a lot of summer jams there? From like other radio stations?
No, you're thinking of Irvine Meadows, which
Okay.
is in Irvine, the other way, and that's an outdoor thing. Universal Amphitheater, I think, was originally an outdoor amphitheater, but then they put the roof on it, I think, in the late 70s, early 80s. So that's the setup. Jodeci's doing a concert at the Universal Amphitheater. There's hotels around Universal Studios, so Jodeci would always stay at the Universal Sheraton. So Dalvin gave us tickets to the concert, but we had to go to the hotel to get our tickets. So at this time, they're leaving to get ready to go to the show. And he's walking out, and it's him and T-Boz. And it is, my girlfriend, me, and another friend of ours. And so he saw us, and he gave us a big greeting. I don't know what was happening at their relationship. I don't know if she knew that my friend was an ex. But she stopped, looked us all up and down, turned her head, and kept walking and looked back at him like, you coming? I have never seen a man scurry to go catch up as fast as I did. And I was like, even if she was bothered, we couldn't tell. She was so cool, like just smooth. I think she was a little bit bothered, but she didn't. She couldn't let it. She didn't let us see her sweat, and just the way that he hopped back to attention, she got my respect that day. So shout out to T-Boz, shout out to Jodeci, and Love You for Life. I wanted to get married to that song. I was like, when I get married, I'm gonna walk down the aisle. Well, my bridesmaids are gonna walk down the aisle to that, and yeah. Anyway, sounded good, right? So shout out to Andy for bringing back and unlocking that memory. You know, that was what, is that on the Diary of a Mad? No, that is on the show, the After Party in the Hotel album. Like you said, 95. Yeah, so my favorite Jodeci albums are Diary of a Madman, the show, the After Party. Well, maybe they're tied with the first one and the third one. But anyway, off on a tangent. So listen, Beyonce's mom was on the Sherry Renaissance show today. And you know, whenever Miss Tina jumps on something, she's going to spill a little bit of tea. So this time she shared that when Beyonce is changing in between the shows, because Sherry asked what goes on backstage. You know, we're getting ready for the Renaissance documentary that's going to show us a bit of that and some other behind the scenes things coming December. Is it 1st or 3rd? One of those. It's out there. And so Tina said that Beyonce can be like the first, I don't know if it's the first verse, but you know, in Flaws and All, when she said, I'm an angel in the morning and a B word in the afternoon. Miss Tina said, yeah, Beyonce can be really mean. She said that we laughed about this recently because I was saying, girl, you get really mean back there, and I am really happy that I don't have to be back there anymore. She said she used to do Flaws and All, and she would say, I'm a B word in the morning. I forgot. And Tina said that she would be like, and in the evening too, that Beyonce would be back there, you know, breaking necks and getting people into attention. But it's a high stressful situation, which she did allude to. And I can just imagine you're back there trying to get yourself together, quick change. You probably have like, maybe 2 minutes or less. The audience is waiting. It's not like they're going to be like, okay, start over, run the music back. So, you know, Beyonce's entitled to be a little cranky when things go down. All right, listen. We've talked a lot about Will and Jada over the past couple of weeks. We've talked about Jada and her past relationships, but we haven't really got into Will's past. You know, Will dated rappers too, or at least attempted to. Now, you may have heard the story before that Will was interested in Peppa from Salt and Peppa, and that she felt that he was too nice at the time. All of this kind of explains, you know, some of Will's esteem issues, if you want to call it as such. You know, always being termed the good guy can have an adverse effect on some. Well, recently, Will Smith has a new podcast called Class of '88. It's really good if you haven't checked it out. It's on Audible and a couple of other podcast platforms. And on it, he talks about the year of '88 and all the different things that happened surrounding hip hop. It's also obviously the year his life changed along with DJ Jazzy Jeff. So gives a lot of backstories into that and talks to other hip hop luminaries from that time frame. So recently he had Salt and Pepper on the show. You may have seen across social media them recreating a photo that they took back in the day in the exact pose. And they discussed when Pep and Will went out on their first date. And listen, it sounds like an amazing first date. But the tea for me, you think they got it cracking, Andy? I don't think they got it cracking. You think so? I mean, Pep did admit that back in the day, she was like, you know, she liked being social and she liked the benefits of being a rap star. So Pep talks about, you know, why she wasn't really feeling Will, and Salt adds in a bit of context that I think just solidifies why it was never going to happen. When we come forward, we will play the audio for you and get into, you know, nice guys don't finish last, because Will is obviously not in last place, but maybe every once in a while you got to show that you got a little bit of edge, because after all, isn't that what brought Will and Jada back together from their separation? We will get back to you on the other side with that audio. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that for Bree's car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Bree's car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy for Breeze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were discussing, Will Smith, not Will and Jada. Don't worry. Will and Peppa of Salt and Pepper. So recently on his Class of 88 podcast, they were discussing their first date and the experience, and Salt added in some context. You got to wait all the way to the end. That I think explains basically why Peppa and Will were never going to be.
We went on a date one time. Okay. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
We went on a date one time.
I know exactly what happened.
What happened?
Another. Wow.
Yeah, no, we allowed to talk about it because so we matured. We ain't do nothing. We just.
Okay,
like,
you were very nice.
And it was LA, right?
Yes.
I feel like we went for a drive.
We did, but this was one of the. The date that you won and you beat us out.
Yeah.
And then you were so happy. You was like, let's go celebrate.
Yeah.
And then we were out and you saw a homeless person and you gave the homeless person $100. And it was so nice. And then we went to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, because I think you and Tretch had been broke up for a minute. So in my mind, when I was trying to spit my game, but I ain't really have nothing. Because you were because my concern was that I was going to get killed. So
that was a legit concern.
So listen, if you have not read Peppa's biography or heard the tales, Peppa and Tretch had a very volatile relationship. And can you just imagine back in the day, when he mentioned after he won, this was when Will was nominated for the first rap Grammy. And so he won. If you recall at that time, perhaps you don't, the Grammys was boycotted by most of the hip hop artists at that time, even the ones that were nominated except for him, because they felt like because the award wasn't going to be shown on TV, it wasn't right. And that they were not going to participate because it should be shown on TV. And we know eventually it was, but this particular night it wasn't. I don't know if Will knew he was going to win or what the case may be, but he went and he won. I believe he went. Yeah, he was the only artist to show up, right? Because I think there was controversy about that too. It was another layer of, because he and Jazzy Jeff were blowing up, it was kind of, and he had the good guy image, what parents just don't understand, and all of those songs, people felt like, the sellout word was kind of attached to Will by some. Again, because of the good guy label. Andy?
Was this like one of his most recent episodes?
So here's the thing. It just started last week. There are, I think maybe 8 to 10 episodes, and I think that they all actually dropped at once.
When you sent me this clip, I knew nothing about his podcast, nothing, no information. And, I'm watching it, previewing it before, the show or whatnot. And as I'm watching and listening, I'm just like, the timing is quite interesting.
It is.
You know what I mean? Now you over here talking about your escapades in the past. I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me. It came off as if like he's moved on from the whole situation. He's not tripping over Jada. He's doing him. So he's reminiscing about his old situations and stuff like that. I just found it interesting.
Let's not kid ourselves. The timing was absolutely put together to come on the heels of Jada's book release. No one said that to me, but as a former marketer, as a former publicist,
great marketing.
All of that makes sense to me. Let's keep this puppy going. Oh, you still interested? Let me hit you with something else. And here's part 2 to that. Will puts out great content. He really understands the internet at this point and social media, and he uses it to his advantage. And he's a great storyteller. So I've actually only listened to one episode, but I plan to listen to more. And great storytelling, great history of hip hop. And I think the idea of taking a slice of time, and there's so many stories and tours and things that happen, the build up, even to them getting signed, to Jazzy Jeff winning a DJ competition and was crowned, coming out of Philly, the best DJ, going against all the New York DJs, where you had to go to New York to prove your worth at that time, and never entered another DJ contest ever again in life. The story behind that, how they were set up, I think it's really worth the listen. Come on, man. Let's not act like the Smiths don't know what they're doing. Like they didn't know everybody was going to react as such. Remember, Will put up that post on social media saying that notifications are off. Baby, he had plans. He had moved on. He's not worried about all of these people. But again, if you have time, I suggest you check out the podcast. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great history, and he's a great storyteller. So if you're into that, for sure, check it out. As far as Pep and Tretch, listen, Will was playing games, especially at that time. Now, there is a lot of conversation about some of Will's friends back in Philly. His former bodyguard turned entertainment executive, manager, producer Charlie Mack, on their first, I think it was their first album. He's Charlie Mack, and he's the first out the limo. Is a Philly legend and also known in them streets. He's also responsible for partially discovering Boyz II Men and helping them get to Michael Bivins and all of that. But I don't know. It could have been an interesting battle back in the day because Will, as always, as noted in his biography, Will had some unexpected rage out there. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that I would have messed with Pep and Tretch at the time too. I remember back in the day, I saw them in a club one night and they were beefing, and it was not nice. Of course, this is before, cell phones, camera phones, all of those things, when celebrities could roam freely and just had to worry, maybe somebody out of pocket was there. But I don't know. I think Will knows how to pick his battles, but he certainly was intimidated by some of the more, because weren't Tretch and Tupac boys, ironically? So that's just kind of funny.
And then they talked about how they had broke up, Pepper and Tretch, and Will low-key tried to slide in during that period.
Yeah.
Boy, that boy Will Smith. Boy.
I mean, it happens all the time. She was single at the moment. Was he supposed to respect that? Tretch obviously wasn't his boy.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But, even in thinking about that, though, I feel like something is a little off with the timeline. Because they're saying it took place after he won the Grammy. Naughty by Nature didn't come out till like 92. So I'm just going to say maybe it's just, fuzzy memory. However, I'm going to be real clear. Something is off about that timeline. Did they link back up later? Are we mixing time periods? Because something is off about that timeline. There is no way in 1989, before Pep got with Tretch, she was still with her first child's father, I believe, at that point. The timelines aren't adding up. But, maybe that's just an accident. I'm unsure. Fahima in the chat says, Will was never tripping over Jada's book. Everyone else was. He wrote a tell-all book too, by the way. He did, in fact, do that. I'm telling you, they are a very calculated and orchestrated family and know how to make a dollar. And regardless, as much as people say they are tired, they are burnt out, I bet you Red Table Talk will debut to massive numbers, At least probably solid. I think so, depending upon the guests they have. And I don't know, if this podcast counts in the mix, but I bet you it does fairly well. We'll see what happens with it. Look, Will and Jada are Will and Jada, and we all just have to respect that they operate by a different set of rules almost. But that timeline is wiggly. I didn't think about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't get bamboozled anymore. Next time Jada starts talking about her relationship, just take it as a grain of salt. It's nothing. It's not even drama like that. They cool. They cool.
I mean, she said after the slap, it's like when you see that good guy and you're like, oh, he's really a bad boy. And now they're working it out and it's brought them closer. So good for them, through sickness and in health, through good times and bad times. This certainly counts. Listen, when we come forward, we are going to get into Magic Johnson and his billionaire status. We're going to get into a thief that robbed a rental car and how he kept it running for 3 weeks so as to not get caught. We're also going to talk about there's a parent of an NBA star that got married and some other trending topics and headlines. More on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports up next.
If you just